Hello there, my name is Agustín Cordes, I'm the founder at Senscape, and I am taking some time of work to answer a number of wonderful questions that the community, well that's you, sent us for this pre-recorded Q&A session. Let's make it quick and snappy, shall we? We have a lot of work to do as we prepare that long-awaited ASYLUM launch. So, the first question, wow, that's a big one already. We are starting with lots of interesting conversations here. How do you finance the project for so long without a publisher? Okay, there's been a number of sources of income over the years. To begin with, money from the sales of scratches that I reinvested on Senscape, and that helped us fund the first phase of development of ASYLUM. Then, of course, there was the Kickstarter, which was a fundamental, support from fans to ensure the game became a reality while honoring our vision. That allowed us to remain, independent for a long time. At some point in the whole very long history of development of ASYLUM, I did consider going with a publisher. I actually discussed with many prospective partners over the years, but in the end we decided to remain solo, and I'm very happy for that, to have happened in the past. ASYLUM would have been a different game had we partnered up with a publisher. I don't know if it would have been for the better or worse. I have no idea. All I know is that it would have been different. Okay, another important source of income over the years are the jobs or services that Senscape, other teams at Senscape provided for customers. Example is the cinematics in Silent Hill Ascension, also other cinematics that we have done for some movies, for example, virtual production. All of these over the years has helped us to, basically survive. Okay, second question, and the complicated ones are the first ones. Have you really worked continuously on the game all these years, or what is the reason why it took so long? Okay, it's many things, again. And let me assure you, there was always a team working on ASYLUM constantly all this time. The issue was that the number of people required to complete this game, as it was originally envisioned, was not enough. Again, the budget, even though the Kickstarter was very appreciated, we had some flexibility with income, like I said, from several sources. It's not nearly enough money, especially not in the industry these days, to complete a game like ASYLUM in a more reasonable timeline. To give you an idea, for a number of years, we were basically 4 people, working on the game. And while the results were good on many fronts, we did a good job back then, it still wasn't quite, the game wasn't quite what it was supposed to be. Okay, so the team increased over time a little bit. At some point, we were maybe 7 people, something like that. But here's the story. Right now, it's 16 people working on ASYLUM. That's a lot. It's, and they have been working on the game, all of us. They have been working on the game for about a year now, this team. That's extremely expensive. You have no idea. That's very, very expensive. And that's why I must insist that, it's the combination of budget and the scope of the game. Definitely the game was too big, too ambitious for our resources. So it's been, like juggling throughout all this time. But I can tell you that we are very happy with how things turn out for ASYLUM. Very, very happy. So on that same note, the third question is a nice follow-up. With such a long development, how did the creative vision evolve? Were there any distinct inflection points, or did the vision remain mostly constant? Okay, that's the thing. Yes, the vision has remained mostly constant. We never changed the original story in any way, and the big, the most important bits are basically what was, scripted, 15 years ago. It's been a long, long road. What I can tell you without, giving up too much is that there were some major improvements while honoring this vision, be it, the characters, how we execute those beats, the quality that we achieve over the years, quality that we didn't want to sacrifice, when we were operating with such a small team. That quality has paid off. I believe that we have, a very nice, consistent tone, atmosphere, and quality bar across the game. The ideas, the creative ideas, that gave birth to the whole plot in Asylum, I can tell you that they are better now. They are more rounded up. It's like, the game matured, with us over the years. It's a more mature product. In the end, it's a better game because of that. I am very happy with, some of the final revelations. Like even if you feel like you see something coming, there is a chain reaction of revelations at the end, and I'm very happy with that. With how that turned out. I think it's way better. We achieved a way better ending, conclusion, or lasting appeal today than what we would have been able to do years ago. That's basically, my feelings when it comes to this question. Okay, so the fourth question has also a little bit to do with the previous ones. What made you decide to change game engines in the middle of development? And after all the time you took to develop Asylum, do you believe your next game will develop more smoothly, having learned said new game engine? Okay, another long answer coming up. But let's talk about the whole picture. When we began working on Asylum, it was a whole different landscape back then. That was before this new wave of generalist game engines such as Unity or Unreal, Godot. It was an engine, called Dagon, quite similar to, the concept behind Screen for scratches. And developing your game engine has its pros and cons. What we found that we wanted for Asylum, especially, considering the more static nature of scratches, we wanted a more interesting visual treatment, with more film grain, a little bit of particles, fog, dust falling, and a lot of, visual flair that enhanced the atmosphere. Over time, it was clear that attempting to do all of that on game engine was going to be a lot of work, and it would involve multiple programmers that, again, we couldn't afford at the time. The decision was to either we sacrifice quality or we switch engines, and we tried Unity for a brief period of time. I wasn't quite happy with Unity back then. It's a much better engine these days for sure, but in the end we opted for Unreal Engine. I am very happy with the results, what we managed to achieve over the years. You'll see for yourselves, and I hope you like it, of course. The environments feel really lifelike, even though it's not full 3D. And we did incorporate 3D elements that, again, was difficult to achieve in your own game engine. 3D engines are complicated things, really. So the overall package and the whole idea of migrating to Unreal was to upgrade, the experience. And I believe we were able to achieve that. I think, and in fact, that's already happening because there is a strike team, small group of people working on the next game from Senscape, because we don't want to wait too long to release something after Asylum. And also I need to keep people busy after Asylum too, right? So that game, which is also being developed directly in Unreal Engine, and also it's going to be full 3D, based on our experiences with Unreal over the years, producing cinematics for Silent Hill Ascension, and of course also the experience of working in Asylum. Yes, we gained a lot of production skills, right? As I was saying in a previous answer, we have matured ourselves over the years. Okay, another one. Since Asylum has been such a long project, how has it been like for newer team members to integrate into the workflow? Must be quite an interesting process due to it being a long time passion project. Yes, it is. We were able to do something that as a team we feel proud of. We like to speed up this last stretch of development, and because I really wanted to commit to a release date and make it happen, we onboarded a lot of new people on the game, maybe around a year ago. And those were like 7 to 8 new people that were onboarded to the team. Here's what we are doing. Our production process, we collaborate on Slack, we use Google Workspace, we are very thorough when it comes to documentation, process. We rely a lot on Jira and Confluence. I tried a lot of tools for game development over the years. For me, Jira is the winner, the absolute winner. So the ticketing system, every day Slack, it can be madness. We are talking a lot, and suddenly I say, okay, don't forget about this. We fire up a ticket in Jira, and then the producer Facundo Cabrera goes and does that cleanup, and makes sure that the tasks are either completed, or if we decide that this task was maybe, deprioritize the task, or maybe the task magically resolved by itself, which also happens too, believe me. I have tasks myself. I need to see my tasks, and that's basically the gist of it. Okay, so we're now talking a little bit about the story, it seems. How did you come up with the main idea of setting and plot? Why did you choose to move from the story of a small house to a story of a huge hospital? I don't quite recall the process of how the story came to be. Sometimes stories just happen, And I did recall that I wanted it to take place inside a mental hospital. It's a nice setting. I like the setting. Also, I think that really one of the most terrifying things in the world is the fear of losing control, your own control. So that's a topic that I wanted to explore in this story. The setting, and it has to do with the story, things that I don't want to reveal. Those are plot points, but the type of asylum of mental hospital that you get to explore, that's the Humboldt Mental Institute, has a very specific type of design, layouts. There is a lot of backstory and research on this game. I'm super happy about that aspect of the development. I have been working with someone who approached me after the Kickstarter campaign, Celeste Bright, who contributed. She's proofreading, but she's more than that, really. She has been helping with validating research, complex medical terms. Okay, I revealed something I didn't want to reveal and basically edited out that part of the response. I don't want to talk more, but let me tell you that there is anything that happens in Asylum happens for a reason. It's all like in the case of Scratches. I'm very happy that it became a sort of stepping points towards a conclusion, and there is meaning behind everything. There is a lot of thought has gone into this story, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, some more straightforward questions now. Thankfully, will we have any fun asbestos cleanup minigames for all asbestos fans? Okay, so in case you didn't get the reference, that's from a horror movie called Session 9. It's a fantastic movie from 2001, something like that, I believe. And it's one of the movies that inspired some plot points of Asylum. So anyway, to answer the question, no, we don't have asbestos minigames, but I would like to explore the possibility of, let me say, spin-off, because it's not a DLC. It's going to be basically after we are done with Asylum, maybe we do something fun, like a short game taking place in the Hanwell Mental Institute under different conditions. In fact, that was part of the Kickstarter pitch. Like, we do something different, more in line with, the type of ambience, melancholic ambience that fans enjoyed in Scratches. So maybe we will do that after we launch. We may include some references to asbestos. Who knows? What engine version does the final game have? Another easy one, because I actually responded that question earlier. It's Unreal Engine. Committing to this engine was a very positive direction for our career, the whole career of the Senscape team. So right now we specialize on Unreal. Maybe in the future I decide to do another in-house engine for a different type of game, but for now we are very satisfied, and we are going to keep using Unreal, at least for the short term. Will it be possible to save any time or only checkpoints? You bet it will be possible to save any time. In fact, the menu, it's quite playful, so to speak. It mimics what a register of patients would be in a mental hospital. And yes, you are able to save games in a number of slots that we offer you. It's very straightforward. You don't even have to type anything, because when you click on the slot, it automatically creates a thumbnail of the moment in the game, the hour, and the room. That's all you need to understand at which point of the game you are. So, yeah, good news, I guess. There will be a chance to play chess in the game. No, that's a weird question, because there is a chess board in the game. So maybe that's some fun question from a beta tester, I don't know. But while there is chess, you don't get to play chess. You have said many times there will be a German voice over. Is it still true? Maybe something to add after release? I don't believe we ever committed to German voiceover, or at least that was the plan if we were, proceeding with the publisher. At the time, no, that's not the plan. There is a German localization of texts underway. In fact, I'm going to be announcing this very soon. We are committing to a number of localizations at launch. Not dubbing. Maybe something to add after release. Maybe. We'll see how the game does, in the stores. There's always the possibility of doing, a special edition with some extra goodies. In fact, the next question. There will be a special edition with soundtrack, betas, and other goodies. I think for sure the soundtrack, if we have time in the remaining days, there is a lot of material that we have over the years that I wanted to compile and maybe, give you like a sort of Asylum Bible with insider details, all that stuff. It would be, I think, instructive as well to see, try different betas over the years. Remember, there was a Kickstarter, and people, paid money for those goodies. So I have to be careful that anything I do on that front honors the commitment from those, Kickstarter supporters. So I don't know. I think we will have a special edition, at least with soundtrack and some other stuff, maybe even at launch. We'll see. Next one. VR support. Yes, we tried that a number of times with the Samsung Gear, I think. Yeah, Gear. And it works. Actually, Asylum is a great fit for VR. It's not something that we can support at launch. I'm sorry. We are definitely users of Steam Deck. We are supporting that. Gamepad support in general as well. But VR at launch, too much to do right now, really. But there might be shortly after a patch that enables this. We'll see. It's something, while the game leans well to VR, we haven't, conducted enough QA tests or assessed the cost of doing that. So, it remains to be seen. Definitely something we'd like to do. Mod support. No, not, it's definitely not for launch. It's not the game that leans well to modding, really. Sometime in the past, we toyed around with the idea because of giving you the source code of the script with the Dagon engine and let you play. But I don't know. It's really different. The whole code base is different these days, and it's not something that it's worth doing. You know, I don't think what could people do with modding anyway. So for now, no, sorry. What is your policy, general preferences for people streaming or making content about Asylum in the future? Do you prefer if the ending isn't spoiled, or is there a particular spot in the game you think is a good spot to stop? Or do you not mind the whole game being streamed? I don't know if this question was for the QA. This is coming from Discord, but it's a great question that, why not, we can address here. I'm okay with streaming Asylum and of course making content about, you know, with the game. That's your content. I will say that I do not want the ending to be streamed for, you know, purposes of the revelation itself. There is a very logical cutting point that will be super obvious, okay? But you can send us an email or ask in Discord, whatever, or your social network of preference. But yes, I would very much appreciate if you stop streaming and not show what happens after a certain moment in the game. Please, and thank you. What is the most important dev lesson that you learned from Scratches and Serena, and how you have incorporated that into Asylum? I think that's a little bit of everything that I have said in previous answers, but here's a really important takeaway, you know. Get producers. Make sure you have a producer in the team, and make sure actually that you have more than one producer depending on the size of the team. That's fundamental. I've always neglected, you know, the role of a producer in the past, and I think I paid for that mistake. That's not a mistake I am doing again in my game development career. Make sure you have a producer, a good producer that even, you know, tells you as the creator when to stop, fires all the alarms, and, you know, make sure the plan is fulfilled. So that's definitely a big learning from not just Scratches Arena, but part of the Asylum development as well. Okay, so will there be more games in this series, or is this going to be a standalone game? I responded this one by accident when I talked about the spin-off, the whole asbestos thing. So it's not something I am confirming now. I'm just saying it's something we would like to do, and really depends on how stressed the team is about Asylum, whether they want to have anything else to do with this game. I don't know if I want to do it, because I'm also very tired myself. But I think there is something else we can do in the Unwell setting, okay? Not a sequel, and definitely not a franchise or anything like that. Just one more thing, a small thing, and that's it. I don't like sequels myself. When a game is done, I like to put it to rest. But I also I like this concept of revisiting a place, you know, under a different perspective. Kind of like, you know, the last visit in Scratches, which, by the way, I think that's a failed experiment, but I can be a little bit stubborn. So maybe, just maybe, we do something else with Asylum in a Hanwell setting, not something that continues the story in any way. So, and again, I am not confirming this, okay? Do you have plans for a future project? Maybe a horror game in an old castle, or maybe a sci-fi scenario like Soma? And, well, it seems like I talked so much during this Q&A that I answered the last batch of questions. In fact, the next one is also, what are your plans for the future after the game's release? Okay, I've already revealed that we are preparing another game already. I don't want to talk much about that. It's not the right time. We are focusing on Asylum. And I don't want to, steal the Asylum founder with such an imminent release coming up. But I can tell you a little bit that it's going to be maybe less horror, more mystery. That doesn't mean it won't be scary. It's maybe just a different type of experience. We are also planning to move away a little bit from, the traditional adventure genre. I don't think you could say it's point and click even, the next game, which is going to be all in 3D. But I can tell you that it has more in common with Scratches than Asylum. I think that's all I can reveal for the time being, really. But as soon as we wrap up Asylum, one group might explore, what we discussed about VR support. Hopefully we won't have to release patches because we are doing a lot of Q&A. VIP backers from the Kickstarter campaign are also contributing to this QA process. But I expect that there will be some period of support Asylum, and also with the possibility of this spin-off that I discussed. But the majority of all the Senscape team is moving onto this new project that, let me tell you, it's super exciting. It's going to be a unique project with a gameplay that it's quite different from any other type of game out there. It's going to be, if we pull that off, it's going to be quite something. We are still seeing if we can pull off the idea for this design. And I don't want another mega ambitious project like Asylum. I want something that, can be done, can be achieved within a reasonable time frame. Anyway, that's it. That too many revelations for one Q&A session. Thank you very much for, the questions themselves. Listening to me babbling through this, I don't know, it's been an hour maybe? Wow. Well, I hope you enjoy the game when it launches next month. See you around. Bye-bye.